You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Vampire Diaries After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Vampire Diaries After Show.
They're all out there watching. Why would they say this? It was such a great show. Yo, what up, AfterBuzz? It's Bingus for doing, and we are here doing another AfterBuzz TV After Show for the Vampire Diaries, Season 4, Episode 22, The Walking Dead.
I like that little pun there, Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
Nice.
I'm DJ Jesse Janedy, joined in studio by the lovely
Kristen Snyder. What's up, guys? Nice to see ya.
Even though we can't really see.
We can see you. Just know that.
It's The Walking Dead. So if you're wondering why we chose that song, actually, a couple things. I mean, it's a sad, so much for our happy ending. Next week is the finale.
I'm sad.
Tear.
It's been a lot of fun.
But, I mean, they delivered the episode.
Whew, you were like, this could have been the finale.
It could have been. I walked out at, like, as soon as the previews came up for next week, I was like, oh, shoot, I totally forgot this was the finale. But you know what they do? And I really hope they don't do it next week. They always make the episode before the finale amazing, and then the finale's kind of
meh.
Please don't do that to us this week. But the real reason we picked that song was because silence for Nina Dobrev and Ian Somerhalder.
Elena, real life.
Yes, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're back. They broke up, and I mean, you know, everyone's speculating. Ian sent out a tweet that we kind of were wondering
cryptic.
if it meant anything about Elena, Nina, as far as
it said something like people forget to tell you that they've changed.
Yeah, very interesting quote. And it's also very interesting. I don't know. Part of me always kind of felt like the relationship is, we see it in Hollywood a lot, you know, they fall for each other because they're working so close with each other, and the chemistry is like just there, and
because they're friends and they have to get closer for the show they're working on,
and you kind of find a balance outside of it, and then it's kind of like, whoa, what are we doing?
Yeah,
like, I like you, buddy, but no. So
well, I mean, and there's 10 years in between them. And I mean,
which
obviously,
can be a big difference.
Yeah, and Nina wants to see what else is out there. I don't blame her.
Well, yeah,
but Ian,
I feel like they're also both coming into a newfound, a new part of Hollywood, especially Nina. I mean, she looked amazing at the Met Gala. So I don't know. I just, okay, sorry guys.
Wondering eyes.
We
what's
love
up?
You. Let's talk about this damn episode though, because did they deliver or what?
I was entertained.
I was thoroughly entertained. Obviously, we had this whole, the veil needs to come down. Bonnie's working with Catherine. I mean, that's kind of where we started out, that she linked Catherine to her.
Which I just knew was going to be a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah, we've all seen the linking thing in the past, Bonnie. You know, she needs to open the portal she's going to open the portal in the triangle between all the points where everybody was killed.
Right.
And it amazes me because I wonder if the show writers like use Buffy as, you know, a kind of reference point, because there's just so many similarities. And I watched True Blood, and you don't see that many similarities. You know, you watch Twilight, you don't see that many, but Vampire Diaries, and I love it. I have nothing against it. Love it to death. The center point was the high school. Talk about the Hell's Mouth from Buffy. All right? So
I haven't seen it, but does that I mean, you said it doesn't bother you that they're pulling stuff from Buffy, but that would bother me if I had seen it in another show, I think.
Well, you know why I like it? Because it's not like they're completely ripping off of Buffy. Mm-hmm. They're doing it in a whole different type of way, but it's almost like they pay homage to it in the sense. You know, even a couple other references. We got Bonnie when she at the end when she was doing the magic and the black veins and you know, stuff like that. That's, you know, reminds me back of Willow. And even just the whole graduation, the build up to graduation, that was a huge like pointing in a turning point in Buffy. And it's such a great episode, so I hope they're going to deliver with it.
Right.
So, you know, Bonnie needs the tombstone with the blood of Katsuya. She's doing the spells. It's leaking, and the veil
That was a great image, by the way. When that tombstone was just bleeding out tears of blood, I was like, wow, that looks amazing.
And so as the veil comes down, the first person we see is Alert.
I was happy to see him. I mean, I don't know when it was him, when it wasn't him, but I was happy when he was there.
Right?
Yes.
And it was cool that you know, it just so happened that they were next to locker number 42. That little reference point. Random. But I guess, you know, they always try to fit something in. And then throughout it, I mean, Elena's sitting here and she has this rage against Catherine.
Because Stefan made her channel all her emotions, and she picked hate.
Yeah.
Which I kind of felt this episode. I know she says at one point when Caroline's asking her kind of to apologize, or did she really mean it, she said she can't let herself feel bad because then she'll feel everything. But she definitely wasn't still this episode fully, you know, recovered back to the old Elena, and she clearly didn't feel bad. I think at the end we got some apologies here and there, but I was really surprised by a lot of stuff she did this episode, even still. Me
too, and I wonder if, you know, we're going to see a new Elena. I mean, obviously, you know, you go through something so traumatic, there has to be a change within you. So I think I'm going to like the new Elena. I feel like she's going to be a balance of what we didn't like and what we do like.
I agree. A lot of growth in her character.
Where were you with the whole situation with Caroline asking Elena if she meant what she said and being a control freak?
I think that Elena definitely did mean it, but I mean, you do think certain things about your friends, but you just accept it because of all their good qualities, and you kind of love those things about them, just like when Rebecca, like, slapped Caroline out of, like, her trance this episode, and then she called her a bitch right away. She's like, that's the Caroline I love. So, like, you grow to love those characteristics about people who could be seen in a negative light.
Elena's still trying to look for Catherine. Damon won't let her go, and she's like trying to manipulate him. Like, I'll be so normal after she's gone. And to me, I think you would take that rage after she's dead and turn it somewhere else.
Right, and I thought for a second that Damon was going to help her kill Catherine because she was like, I'll be me, and I transitioned to that in my head too. I'll love you again.
But instead, she stabs Damon, and then shows up down in the tunnels and stabs Catherine, and she's like burning her face against the pipes, and it's affecting Bonnie. And then Stefan was the savior of this episode. He was just showed up at all the right times.
Yep, he was always there on time. Nice job, Stefan. But I think that Elena recognized that.
Yep. What about when Elena looked at Stefan and said, "Why are you protecting Catherine? Do you love her? Do you think she's trying to get jealousy out of him, or trying to get a sympathy out of him?"
I think really she was just pulling out all the tricks she could in defense mode. That's what we do, even if we don't mean what we're saying. When we're in defense mode, you're in defense mode, and like you're not going to get out of defense mode until you leave, which when Elena finally did go to Jeremy's grave, she was like, I know Stefan's right. So it's like, it was sinking in while she was throwing that like jealousy back at Stefan. She was just doing it because that's what you do in defense mode.
Yep. And then also in defense mode, she slaps him.
I was taken back by
punches
that.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like
he
a cement
was taken back by
block,
that.
she says. Yeah. I like.
Where do you think Stefan stands with her now?
You know what? I think that because they threw out that little hint with the whole Caroline, because when Lexi said, what's with the new blonde in your life, she's pretty or whatever, I think that Stefan's kind of over Elena, and that there is going to be something sparked between him and Caroline because the show threw it out there. They had Lexi say it, and I haven't seen them put that out there in the past and totally reject it. I don't know.
I hope that doesn't happen. I don't.
That's why I think it should, because we don't want it to.
I just love the friendship that they have.
Yeah.
You know, and I just,
it is like a Lexi relationship.
I honestly felt like it was almost like Lexi passed the torch on to her when she showed up, and she said, "Thanks for watching over here."
Did Stefan and Lexi ever have any kind of
a little bit?
So that's how I feel like it might be.
Him and Caroline will have a little something, and then they realize
that they're friends. Yeah,
I feel like that is gonna be the thing that triggers Elena into being like, "No, I need to be with Steph." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes you need that though. You need to
see them with someone else.
You need to see them with someone else that you know and you know is a good catch.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. You sure do sometimes. You know, so while all this stuff is going on and everyone's, you know, all the spirits are being lifted, Silas shows up and he's messing with Bonnie right now. He's like basically saying he's stronger than her and thins the air out in the cave, and Bonnie falls down. And then we see Grams.
I loved seeing Grams, and she was like, I was worried about you, so it was nice to... I really liked how everyone got that goodbye and that like exchange that they needed with the person that they were missing the most. I think everyone's gonna love this episode because you get to see everyone that you
I'm really glad that they didn't do the whole like they're back from the dead and they're all evil.
Yeah,
it seemed like they
too.
all came back and they were the original person that they were. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I really appreciate that they did that and didn't try and taint it.
I feel like we needed that as fans as well, because before, like, all of their deaths were pretty dark and gruesome and ended spontaneously. There were no goodbyes, and there was always like heartache and pain left behind. So I feel like the fans included kind of needed that like last word of healing and to leave on a good note. So this was a great way to do it.
Right. You know, so Grams kind of helps Bonnie realize you have power of expression. You can do anything. You can do this curse right now. Bonnie goes crazy. She does, and she strips Silas of his mind control and turns him into stone.
Like Medusa.
Yeah. And you know, I gotta say, Silas was a big letdown for a character.
Yep, he failed as a villain, and a lot of people think that the vampire hunters were a better villain, which maybe the writers do too, because they're bringing him back for the finale.
Mm-hmm. Although a part of me feels like we're not fully done with Silas.
You don't think? I mean, all he needs is a drop of blood, like they said, and he'll come back.
No, right. So I feel like there needs to be something there to kind of, I don't know how they would protect him, because I feel like that's such an easy access place for his body.
The ocean?
You know? Well, yeah, I guess they're going to drop him in the ocean.
think they already did, because Alaric at the end of the episode said, I pulled this out of the dead guy's pocket before I dropped him in the ocean.
Oh, right, the cure. There we are. She turns him into stone. Yay. But we don't get to see his face.
Yeah, and then
Which
Damon was like...
kind of makes me feel like, why?
Yeah,
Why
like we'll
didn't you
never
guys
know
wanna give
who
us
it
that?
is.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's something that will come back in the end, because they were left wondering, and of course then we are as well.
One of my favorite things that went on through this episode was Rebecca and Matt.
Almost. It was almost sexy time.
I mean, Rebecca was like... It was like that movie Ghost, all the candles. Rebecca was in the mood. She thought she was going to get some, and then Cole showed up.
You know what? But she does. She is definitely coming around. We got to see her full transformation.
Yeah.
I think so.
And I loved it.
And I think that Matt has recognized it as well.
I love how she tried to help Elena, and then she tried to help Caroline. Like, and I love that she asked him, "Why don't you ever want me to help you as a vampire?"
Yeah.
And she can accept his answer, and like probably finds it beautiful that he doesn't want that.
Yeah, because she so badly wants to be human, so she gets that he wants to stay human, at least for graduation.
We find out Cole wants to kill Elena. I was surprised Vicky didn't come back.
That's what I thought. I was expecting her to come back for Matt.
Right.
But Matt never wins.
No. Sorry, Matt.
But it's still down next week, or isn't it? Or is it? Or isn't it? I don't know.
Well, I believe it is because the hunters were still there.
That's why I was confused if her spell actually worked and kept all the hunters, because Jeremy's a hunter. So she wanted to just keep Jeremy back.
Right.
So is it that the veil's back up, but all the hunters are back?
That would be cool.
Because if Bonnie's quote-unquote dead,
yeah, that didn't make sense either.
the veil would have to be back up? I don't know. But we haven't really got the Elena-Jeremy goodbye speech.
Right.
Like, it was about to happen. We didn't get it.
I don't know. While Rebecca is pulling glass pieces out of Matt, she goes in the back room and finds Caroline going ham. Ugh. That was a really tough scene to watch.
What was she saying? She was like, must keep cutting or something. Oh my God. I was like,
bleed. I have to keep cutting.
Yeah, that was so terrifying. That was out of like the scariest movie I've ever seen. I feel like that was awful.
She looked like an addict. Like she was like, I need that. I need to cut myself. Like, whoa, girl, calm down. And then, obviously that means that Silas was Caroline. That's how he figured out the whole plot going into the school.
Yeah, and apparently,
hide your wife, hide your kids. You don't know who to trust around here.
No.
Again, I liked everyone kind of did have their little goodbyes. They got to see that person. Like we said, Stefan got to see Lexi, Damon and Aluric's bromance.
Oh, I love the fact that he came back to drink with him and also give him love advice. Like whenever he hands
get the girl.
Damon the cure, he's like, what do I do with this? Get the girl. Like, what do you think about that?
I don't know. I think Damon's going to do something kind of crazy. I feel like they're either going to force Elena to be human or they're going to realize Elena needs to remain a vampire. I
don't know. I think they might get Jeremy to convince Elena to take it. Maybe.
Really?
Maybe.
That's a good prediction. I'm with that prediction. That's a good one. So as Jeremy shows up at the grave, well, he shows up after Cole shows up to Elena and tries to kill Elena. Jeremy saves her, and Jeremy's getting big. He's so old, like he looks like a man.
He finally looks like a man.
Finally, he goes and saves Elena. And then Stefan comes and saves Jeremy. So it was, all in all, we were very happy. I loved Bonnie and Elena making up.
For a split second. It happened.
Well, yeah, because then
Which I'm glad they did before she died.
And then, Bonnie says, I'll keep the veil up as long as possible. And it was really good for her to do that and allow everybody to kind of have their... It'll bring everybody to an even playing field and balance themselves out. Bonnie really wanted to keep Jeremy there. Grams is yelling at her. She does the spell and... It's
kind of Grams' fault.
Why?
Because she told her that she can manifest her will. She can do whatever she wants with expression.
Yeah. Very good one.
It's all your fault, Grams.
Bonnie's dead. And, I mean... For me, this episode is a lot more about predictions because they gave us all the setup, and now it's just about where the hell are you guys going to take us?
And why is Rebecca's boyfriend, Alexander, the first hunter back?
Like there haven't been tons of hunters before, but I guess they're coming. It's remember they said not all the spirits have to come back to here. They're only coming back because they want
if
somebody.
they had business here.
So that makes sense that those three slayers would be in town. And we got Alexander and then the two other vampires, hunters. And it kind of seems like they're going to be used not to kill him, but probably as bait.
As what? For what?
Vampire? To get all the other vampires, to kill all the vampires.
Who will be used as bait?
Rebecca and Matt.
See, I have no idea. Like, why are they back? They want to fulfill their destiny and kill the vampires in Mystic Falls, which is, of course, isn't going to happen. But, I mean, do they want something to do with the cure?
Ooh. That could be, you know what? That could be something. Actually, on that note, let's head into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, we're about to go in on predictions right now.
All right.
All right, so Vampire Hunters. Where are they taking this? You're saying that maybe the cure could be the reason what they want?
I really don't know. Like, what would they want with the cure? But
maybe they know a way to manifest the cure and turn everyone who is a vampire into a human. Could be something. They would need a witch.
What do you think's gonna happen with Bonnie?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm so sick of them like doing this to her because I feel like she's always like using their powers and then she faints and falls down and she's useless. And either give Bonnie the ability to be like the most magical human being, or like don't play with our emotions. And you cannot kill off Alaric, Jeremy, and Bonnie. You know what I mean?
In the same episode.
Yeah, well, not even the same episode.
In the same season.
It's just doing too much.
Yeah.
You're taking away too much from us. And then you're getting rid of the originals. It's like, well why are we going to want to watch the show?
I agree. I'm curious to see where they go with this. And this finale episode is going to point us in that direction. And
shout out to Jillian Swong because she said that she doesn't think Bonnie's going to be dead because apparently Bonnie was in the graduation pictures for next week's finale. So hopefully that leads to something. That would be really exciting.
Maybe she's invisible to everybody else.
And just hauntingly stand there like...
Well, what was weird was Cole was like, I've been here the whole time, you just can't see me. He said that to Elena, and I've been whispering all the horrible things I want to happen to you.
He said that, but then Alaric said, yeah, it's hard to do that, 3 feet deep. I didn't get that, where that reference came from.
I'm not sure.
Do you think we're going to get Jeremy's going to really be able to change Elena? And do you think she's really going to take a sip of that cure?
You know what? I kind of don't want Elena to take the cure because that's what they've been trying to do the whole season. And I personally don't want to see that. However, I think they're going to have Jeremy feed it to her.
Well, that's weird.
No, not like that, but basically... Not literally, but figuratively, basically, Jeremy's going to talk to her into taking it. I can see her holding it up.
I mean, as far as that, I don't know if I definitely don't want Elaine to be human, because imagine becoming human with all the thoughts of everything you did as a vampire.
Yeah.
That sounds a little suicidal to me.
Why did Alaric say go get the girl with the cure with that? With the cure?
Well, because I think in Alaric's head, if Elena takes the cure, she'll then, be able to fall for Damon.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Shout out to everybody at home. Make sure you guys download us on iTunes podcast, subscribe, rate, leave us a comment. I'm kind of just like boggled by this episode and where the hell we're going out. I hope they take us out on a good note.
I agree.
And don't leave us hanging too much because there's a lot of things to tie up in one episode.
Lots. And will she end up with anyone at the end of this season?
No. Can we not do that again this season? Please leave that alone. You guys can follow us at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you want to keep the conversation going with us, you can tweet me at DJ Jesse J.
You can tweet me at Cinematic Escape, or you can Bing my blog, Cinematic Escape.
Until next week, same time, same place.
Bye.
Peace.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.